Bells will be ringing the glad, glad news.
Good afternoon, guys, or good evening rather, but it's John Tavell here in Thirlmere Deacon's Mayfair offices, and before I head home for the evening, my colleague Francis behind the camera.
Hey guys.
And my good staff are going to do a very, very quick 5-year financial forecast based around our completed units, fully tenanted, ready to rent in Hull. Okay, so we'll jump straight into the numbers. Grab my pad and my pen, and we'll jump straight into it. So we're looking at an apartment worth £83,250. Okay, so sub 100 grand. And the reservation process is quite simple. 5% down this month, this year, in order to lock in the price and indeed the deal, which I'll allude to in a few moments. Okay, so in terms of getting involved at this stage, 4,162.50. Now, in order to exchange, you'd be looking at 25% down, leaving you with 70% loan to value when you're taking a mortgage, and that figure comes to £20,812.50. Okay. Stamp duty, a necessary evil, if you will, although some might debate that. It comes to £2,497. Okay, and to furnish the apartment, £3,594. Now, your legal fees cost £1,000. And that, if we sum all of those up, that will give you your total cash in. I'll just vanish that to grab my red pen. So your total cash in this instance is £32,066. Okay. Now then, by virtue of getting involved at this stage, the developer and the lettings and management company will actually assure you for 10 years, if you want it, 8.5% gross yield on the property. Okay, so in terms of the money you're getting back every year prior to your costs, you'll be getting 8.5% of the property value back in rent every year, assured for up to 10 years, subject to 2-year reviews. Now, what that actually means for our investors is, in return for the rent they'll receive, it's actually a very, very high figure, in as much as it's £7,076.25 back. Okay. Now, obviously, there are certain charges that will come off that, leaving you with your net returns. Okay, so your service charge in this instance is a meagre £855. Your ground rent £300. And of course, you've got to service a mortgage. And we mentioned before that we're looking at 70% LTV. And Francis, we put the mortgage at what, 4%?
About 4%, because the sub £100,000 property value.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, our UK investors are getting between sort of 1.8 and 2% for sort of higher value properties. But the lower you go, the lower the property value. Invariably, unfortunately, the rate does sort of increase in line with that. So 4%, I think, but you know, by virtue of managing expectations, is not a bad place to go. Okay, so your mortgage in that instance is £331 per annum. Okay, so if we take these costs, or rather these costs, from that figure, that will give you the income you're making per annum, and then we look at that as a percentage of the cash in to give you an annual ROI. Okay, so going back to red pen, your income in that instance is, per annum, 3,000, red pen dying on me here, 3,590 and 25 pence. In terms of that, by way of a percentage of ROI, it's actually double digits at 11.2%, which is fantastic when you consider what sort of your money might be doing in UK banks at this precise time. Okay, so if we take that figure that you're getting back in rent after all your costs, and we multiply it by 5 years to give you a 5-year rental figure, that's £17,951 and 25 pence. Okay, back in your pocket after all costs at the end of the 5 years. You've got capital appreciation at that time, and we're going to be basically forecasting that Hull will grow 3% per annum during that time. If you look at last year's figures, the growth was actually 5%, so 3% is very much erring on the side of caution. So your growth during that time, your property value increases at 3% compound, and the capital appreciation during those 5 years comes to £13,259 and 57 pence, okay? Now then, your total gains in that instance comes to £31,210 and 82. Okay, so your total gains here, if the red pen will work, is 31,259 and 57 pence. And I must apologise because not only is it the bottom of the board, but I'm also a lefty as well. So writing on whiteboards has never really been my thing. So combined, if you look at that, that's £31,259 back in 5 years, okay? Now when we look at ROI, you look at that as a percentage of the cash that you put in originally, and that comes to 97.3% over 5 years. So if we were to annualise that, i.e. divide 97% by 5 years, that leaves us with an annualised ROI of, go back to red pen for this, 19.4%, okay? So your annual figures are pretty good, but if you look at over 5 years, blended with the capital appreciation, and let's be clear here, we've been very, very cautious with regards to our forecast regarding Hull, which is really outperforming a lot of expectations for investors. That's a 19.4% return on your capital every year over 5 years.